Antahkarana. This book has included all chapters of Antahkarana taken from various books of Tarkam sir. Now I am going to speak the Antahkarana from the book Esoteric Science of Healing. Antahkarana is the Sanskrit word from the bridge. The Antahkarana is the communication bridge that we built from lower to higher levels of consciousness. What is the real bridging process? The first thing we are going to develop is sensitivity. Sensitivity, sensitivity means the ability to register impressions, physical, emotional, mental, and higher impressions. We are going to develop the sensitivity to register. For example, some people some people's skin is like elephant skin. They don't feel anything. Often we think feeling is related to our skin. It is not. It is related to our etheric body and to our aura. You are going to do lots of exercises to feel. If you want to build your antakarana and expand your communication, for example, when you go to the mountains or to your home, try to feel the objects. Put 10 or 15 objects here, there, and feel them with your hands. See if you can feel some differences. Some of them will be hot, some of them will be cold, some of them will repel you, some of them will draw you, develop sensitivity. If you are at home, feel your walls, carpets, and if you are among people, feel them. How does this girl feel? How does this man feel? With what part of your body are you feeling? When you enter a new room, feel it. Your feelings about objective things, carpets, chairs, human skin, hair, are the part of your expansion of communication. Through sensitivity and registration, you are going to train yourself. That is the beginning of psychometry. When you sit in a restaurant and a dish is brought to you, feel it. Your inner sensitivity exactly says what it is. If you develop it, feel the bread, feel even the cup. Sometimes you feel who handled it. If something is given to you, who gave it? The radiation, the vibration is there. You are going to develop physical sensitivity, sensitivity towards objective things in life. For example, when my piano is played by somebody, I immediately know it. Sometimes their emanations are negative, sometimes they are good. I had a teacher to whom I gave my violin to play because after he played on it, I felt so nice. All his thought forms and everything were there. It must be mentioned here that sensitivity must be registered in the brain. Every object affects our aura and the etheric body, but does not necessarily register in the brain. All kinds of sensitivity must be recorded in the brain. If we want to have conscious response or reaction towards an impression from any object, this means even if we are not conscious about impressions hitting our aura, They are there and have a great effect upon us. To be conscious about the effects is the beginning of building the Antahkarana. Second, communication is emotional sensitivity. How do people feel? What is the overall feeling of this group? How do you feel when you touch her hand or his hand? You are going to feel emotionally. Sometimes, to extend your emotional feelings, think about people what they are feeling at the same time. If you sit down and make a plan, 1 year of physical sensitivity, then emotional sensitivity, another year mental sensitivity, another year psychic sensitivity, you can methodically cultivate yourself. You are going to be your own teacher because you are at the stage now where you can lead yourself. You can plan your life, your spiritual development, and follow the follow a self-planned progress. The basic line is to extend your sensitivity. Feel your husband, wife, your girlfriend, boyfriend physically, emotionally. Then chance to your coworkers, present or absent. Then feel people far away and see what they are feeling. This, is, this sensitivity must be developed because these are potentials within you that are latent and sleeping. Then try mental sensitivity. Try to feel the thoughts of other people. If they are close to you, look at them and see what they are thinking. Eventually, your sensitivity will tell you in what dimensions they are thinking, how many folds their thoughts have. Is there something inside of them not being revealed? You can slowly feel their thoughts. Eventually, if you develop thought sensitivity, when the teacher opens his mouth, you know what he is going to say next. Before he says anything, he has already said it mentally. It is so quick, it is almost instantaneous. But instantaneousness is measured by the physical level measure. In the mental level, there is a 1 hour difference between speech and thinking. Develop that sensitivity. What is your wife thinking now? Even if you are wrong, write it down. My wife is thinking that I must bring some parsley home. Write it down. 99 times you will be wrong at the beginning, but slowly, you will see that something is improving. You are getting in tune with the thoughts pattern of your husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, mommy, daddy, children, etc. This sensitivity is highly developed in the animal kingdom. Something happened to us and we lost it. Dolphins can communicate many miles away. Elephants, bears, even rabbits can communicate. What is the communication technique? The communication technique is based on the fact that any time you think about somebody, you really emanate a very low frequency vibration. They immediately receive it and automatically respond to it. But because the channels are not clean and you don't know how to translate it, it becomes lost. Still, the communication is always there. You are communicating with each other. You are communicating with the universe. You are communicating with all creation. but it is not conscious. We are going to change this unconscious communication to conscious and controlled communication. You are in communication with the whole universe. It is impossible not to communicate. That is the Antahkarana. The Antahkarana means instantaneous, eternal communication between you and all that exists. At present, we don't have conscious communication. The Tibetan master has a wonderful chapter in the book Telepathy about the science of the presence. Do you know what it means? There is presence, there is no absence, there are no cleavages anywhere, in anything. It is all presence, everything, everywhere in the presence in your brain. From this concept is developing a science called holism. It says that in one cell of your body, everything you are exists. If a cell has the existence of everything, what about man? In man, everything exists. If they take your hair, you are in the hair. Eventually, they will take part of your hair with a computer and make your whole body. They will show what your face is. For you exist in every atom of every cell of your being. All these galaxies exist within you. So basically, the foundation is that the Antahkarana is communication. Instantaneous conscious communication with the whole or with a part of it. Sometimes to say communication is wrong because communication means you and somebody else and things are communicating with each other. This is wrong. It is an illusion to say that. It is all presence we are going to make the presence conscious. You can do it. For example, feel that your master is around you. Let you say that your master is Christ. Live in his consciousness, in his presence. He is in my presence now. Wow, I want to be so beautiful. I want to speak nice things, behave beautifully. I want to think creatively. I want to be his expression. I want to manifest all the potentials within me because I am in his presence and he is in my presence. You are in my presence. I am in your presence. We are in the presence of that Almighty, one who is in all of us. This state does not need communication. This foundation must be put in our consciousness so we understand what the sages are saying. All the problems of the world can be solved by developing the sense of oneness. As we develop the sense of oneness, we become aware of each other, live within each other, and no distance anymore exists between forms of life. In future, we need a president who will stand for the first time in our life in the United Nations and say, we are one humanity. We are one in spirit. We are one in God. That would solve our problems. Sensitivity is not enough. We are going to develop something else. Understanding. Understanding is the translation of an impression that is coming to you. We have lost the ability. we have lost that ability. For example, take a dog's nose. If a dog's nose comes here, he smells and knows what to eat. That is understanding or the translation of the vibration of the meat or food into like or dislike. He is translating that the meat is rotten and he does not want to eat it. Sometimes two or three people make a plan. Let us say you are in Iowa, I am in Los Angeles, and another person is in New York. We must sit and think at 9 o'clock together and send some conversation. But keep the conversation the same for a while. What happens? You are sitting in New York, one in Los Angeles, another one in Iowa. Say, good morning. Once a year, get together and see what messages you got, what you felt. You will see that those people who love each other more will get clearer messages. What is love? Love is the substance of oneness, the communication of oneness. Love is the essential feeling that there is oneness. So, you are going to develop translation, understanding what is that stimulus, what is the vibration that is coming to you, what is coming to me, how can I translate it? Try to do that. Try to do that. For example, take a cup in your hand and feel it. What kind of people drank from this cup? What part of my body is responding or rejecting it? You are translating it. This man, I think, was cursing his wife when he was drinking. There is some etheric thing there. You are developing yourself. You are exercising yourself. You are bringing the latent potentials into manifestation. Excuse me. In pure religion, the idea of oneness is the foundation. Actually, religion is the translation of this idea of oneness or unity. Religious practice is to actualize this oneness consciously or to build our Antahkarana. The first stage is registration sensitivity. The second is understanding translation. The third is expression. What is expression? Expression is the answer to the stimulus, to the impression. You received an impression, registered it, and understood it. Now you are going to answer. Here we have some difficulty. Whatever level you are, in that level you answer. Whatever center is open in you, it is with that center that you talk. So if your lower centers are active, no matter how high the impressions coming to you, you talk with your lower centers. Here is the difficulty. You are going gradually to raise your level of consciousness. So you answer at the level of the stimulation is coming from. that the impression is coming from. The first thing you can do to escape lots of complications is to answer all vibrations through your heart because the heart understands everything. The heart has 12 petals. It is a big computer. It takes computers and gives you only the essence. The Tibetan master gave some very nice instructions about the heart. They were not published in his books until Mary Bailey published a booklet called A Learning Experience. In that book, there are maybe 40 to 50 pages from the Tibetan master directly. He gave the instructions to Alice Bailey in 1992 1920, and she did not want to publish them. Later, later, her husband felt it was all right and they published them. The Tibetan master said that Alice Bailey knew how to receive dark arrows and change them in her heart, change the poison into balsam, into healing energies. Many of her enemies came and kneeled down at her feet because she changed their current. When they were sending her poison, she was sending healing energies. How did she do it? Through her heart, like a refinery. If you feel negative energies, immediately you respond through the mental mechanism. Bad boy, you hate me. I hate you. You are not good. Other centers have different responses. But if your heart responds, the heart takes 1 second and the refinery works and understands and changes all that negative energy into positive energy and gives it back. Your enemies are wounds in your aura. If you if you heal your enemy, you heal a portion of your aura. It is so difficult, especially if you hate a person, but if you love him or her, you heal your aura. He or she carries the wounds and suffers for it. So it is better to heal the person also if you can. Sometimes it takes lives to heal wounds. If you are on the same level of students, teacher, teachers, or disciples, you can heal the wounds easily. But if you are on a different level and those who hate you are obsessed and possessed, their entities, don't let them understand you. Now I am going to read how to build Antahkarana. The following are techniques for building the Antahkarana. First, create an intention within you. Intention means to create a tension within you with a great aspiration and a striving. That tension is great aspiration, striving, wish, and desire. I want to be something beyond what I am now. Second one, visualization. Visualization is the ability to see the actualization of things that will happen in the future. When you visualize the bridge and create it. You see in the present what will take place in the future. Third one, projection. Projection means that you see it. You are projecting yourself to the other side of your being. If you are attached to the physical body, you are going to project yourself to the intuitional body. If you are attached to the emotional body, you are going to project yourself to the atmic body. When you are attached to your mental body, you are going to project yourself to the monadic, monadic body. Your cables are sent. They are released to the other shore. The other shore is your treasury. You can bring back everything that is there. Fourth one, invocation and evocation. Invocation and evocation means that the cable has been established. You can talk, ask questions, and receive your answers from spiritual thread. Fifth one, stabilization. Stabilization is to have a clear line between both ends of the cable. To really hear what the voices are saying and to receive the messages and questions in the right way. Stabilization is based on your physical health, emotional purity, and mental clarity. If you don't have these qualities, stabilization is not established. Sixth one, resurrection. Resurrection means emancipation of the human light from the darkness of the bodies. As one resurrects himself towards greater freedom, greater joy, and love, he radiates them through all his thoughts, words, and actions. He becomes a dispenser of the treasury of the higher psychism. I want to show some figures, diagrams of Antahkarana. 7 bodies.
కొంచెం పైకెత్తాను. పైకెత్తావా? ఓకే. రైట్.
So, 7 bodies: physical, emotional, mental, intuitional, atmic, monatic, divine bodies. All bodies. This is cosmic physical plane, all bodies. So, I want to show another diagram. So, this is the building of Antahkarana. So, how to connect mental unit to mental permanent atom. So, in between chalois. So, how to build Antahkarana, first level of Antahkarana, and spiritual triad. So, spiritual triad, triangle, spiritual triad, mental permanent atom, and intuitional permanent atom, and atmic permanent atom. So, this is spiritual triad above intuitional body. So I want to read another uh, uh, chapter. In this chapter, I want to show one diagram. So not self to self. Now I am going to read this chapter. Not self to self. So this is a diagram pole of self and not self. At 25 degrees we begin to doubt that our physical body is ourselves. In this way, the universe becomes the not self. The body becomes the not self, but the rest still persists as self. At 50 degrees, we separate ourselves from the emotional world. Its responses and reactions so that eventually the emotional world also ceases to be part of ourselves and become a part of the not self. At 75 degree, our mental body detaches and becomes a part of the not self with all its modifications. Up to 95 degrees and beyond, the not self is mixed with the self. At 10 degrees and below, the self is present within the not self. At 85 degrees, we pass into the intuitional world. At 90 degrees, we enter the monadic plane. At 100 degrees, we become our true self, one with the Father. So another diagram, the pole spirit. This diagram is the pole of spirit. The point where spirit and matter meets forms the I of the man or the controlling center. If the proportion is equal, let us say 15 and 15, we have a balanced man or on low levels. A soul infused personality has a 50 by 50 balance. When man radiates the glory of the spirit through the lower man as much as possible. After the 50th degree, the spirit gains momentum and the man becomes spiritually radioactive. He undertakes great service on higher levels in larger areas. Okay, thank you.